Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is episode 16 of One on One with Darrell Owens, yours truly, and here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. And with me today, I have one of my guys, man. Like, he is one of the guys that I looked up to in this industry. And it's okay to look up to people in this industry, y'all. And there's nothing wrong with that. And somebody who grinds and does their thing better than anybody else out there. And that's my man, Maceo Heard from the Crush, one half of the co-founders of the Crush network down in Atlanta, Georgia. Maceo, what's up, my friend?
Hey man, listen, pleasure, man, to be chopping it up with you, man. You're my connect to Natasha Cloud. You already.
I'm here for you, brother. I'm here for you. I'm doing good, man. And like I said, I'm glad to have you on, man. And it's an absolute pleasure. You guys have been killing things for a while down there in ATL, and I've been watching from afar and just been admiring the hard work that you and my man Glaze have been doing. And of course, Glaze will be on the next episode. So this is the first half of the Crush team, and I'm glad to have you on, brother.
Mutual,
really
baby.
Okay. Well, of course, we got to start off, ladies and gentlemen, with the check-in. So I want to check in with you, man. How's your family doing during COVID? How's everything, just how you handling and navigating during COVID? We've had everything going on with the racial tension in the country. Just in general, man, how are you doing? How your family? How you handling everything that's been going on?
Man, everybody good around here. I'm considered essential work, so really skip the beat. Family good. Listen, we believe everything. We don't think this is a hoax. We're following all protocols big time. I'm always masked up every chance I get. With Atlanta, we seem to be the hub for a lot of stuff lately. Whether Black Lives Matter movement that I think yesterday was like day 31, and I saw what somebody was like, yesterday may have been the first day that it wasn't a planned protest that people knew about. But, we keep hearing these stories about our numbers spiking. Of course, our governor, he decided to kind of open up a little too soon. And now we're we're paying the price. And it seems like we might go on punishment again. So we're
Well, it's funny. My governor got criticized for being too cautious. And so, it almost like they had to force him into like kind of opening up a little bit earlier than he had. And, being a part of a state, a red state. So it's kind of like the pressure was coming from above. And you can tell like he was trying to be cool. He got a little slick with the president once or twice. And I'm like, okay, now, Governor, calm down a little bit. But he definitely tried to, keep things. But you can tell that there was pressure going on there. So we're potentially going into phase 3 on July the 1st. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, man, it's definitely been wild times around here, and it's been a wild couple of months, but hopefully we're going to get sports back here soon. And, for you, my friend, like, how did it all start? Like, when you were young and you said, man, you knew that moment that you fell in love with sports. What was that moment like for you when you knew this is life for me?
Man, listen, sports was always my life. Everything in my life is basically tied to sports. I would clean my room so we go outside to play. On Saturday mornings during recreation, when we were growing up, if you didn't have your chores done, anything, you weren't gonna play that ball game.
Right.
So everything with me was sports related. My dad, ultra competitive guy who kind of gave me the ropes. I got uncles who, listen, when your dad didn't poke and prod you, your uncles, they got you into it. So just everything was competitive in the household, in the family. I mean, we competed with grades. We competed with who would go get the mail fast, all these things. So we've always, man, sports has always just been in our DNA, man. It's the fabric of what we do.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I remember me and my best friend, my man Darrell Jones, the longest friend in the world. When we were kids, we used to go outside. This may sound crazy, but we used to go outside and find tree branches that looked like basketball hoops. You know, like they would be long enough to where you can dunk on them and make it look like it was a
Right.
breakaway. We did that. We would walk around our neighborhood and like there's a good one, and we're out here trying to we out here trying to jam and test our strength. So when you're being from the country, making up games was like primary. You had to do that thing down there.
Big fact. Yes.
Oh my God, I remember this. It was just so many good games back in the day. But I mean, that's for me. Is just that's where my love of sports came from. Just finding ways to make games in the backyard, sticks and tennis balls for baseball, the whole 9 yards.
That's it.
Now, of course, you and your man Glaze have been, Emmanuel have been doing, big things with the Crush for, a while now. But what gave you that bug to get into sports journalism? Like when did you know? I'm like, man, it's time for me to be that radio personality. I've seen you talk to some of the biggest names, the Michael Vicks, some of the biggest names in the WNBA. Some of the, I've seen Dominique Wilkins. You guys have done a little bit of everything on there. So, like, how did you get into sports journalism? And was that something you've always wanted to do, or it fell into your lap?
This was crazy. So, I coached high school sports for a long time. Mm-hmm. Finally got to that point where the love the kids. Let's get that straight. Love the kids.
Right.
Hated the parents almost. Hated. And when I say that, listen, okay. Didn't hate the parents, but yeah, okay, I did. I hate the parents.
Well, that's because they try to coach from the stands, and that's
that. But I didn't. That part of it didn't bother me. It bothered me when it was time for the recruiting process for the kids. And of course, every parent has rose-colored glasses on about their child. Everybody's child's supposed to go to Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, all Power 5 schools. When that's just not the case.
Right.
So the last year I coached, we had a group of parents. Well, for the most part, that group of parents, they were pretty good. But we had 2 or 3 outstanding parents who just they couldn't get through their thick skulls that their child didn't have the talent to play at those levels that they wanted. Now, they were good at play at some of these other schools. Oh, and let's mix in, they didn't have any grades. That's a factor.
Right.
And you had another section of those kids who really didn't want to leave the state. So you think you're going to Tech or Georgia? Nah, probably not going to happen. So what I ended up doing was like, you know what? It's time for me to switch gears. Mm-hmm. But I want to stay connected to sports because, again, I love sports. I always had the desire to want to get out, meet different athletes, talk to different athletes, and kind of do it from a perspective that we don't see on TV, or how they don't. Our athletes, in my opinion, don't get covered the way that they should be covered. So that's kind of where my thing was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to leverage the relationship that I've already had through coaching, through playing, just through being from the city. And hey, Emmanuel and I, my last year coaching, Emmanuel, we actually lost to the high school that he was working at. Mm-hmm. So I had seen Emmanuel since college.
Right.
And he was, he had a funny joke about us as I was heading up to the booth. And then when we came back down, we lost the game. And then he had another boy come in. So I cussed him out. Pretty good. That's how we kind of reconnected, and then found out that he was already kind of doing a show, but he couldn't get anybody to show up to do the show. So I was like, dude, you have the format. Dude, I got the people. Mm-hmm. Mess this thing up, and that's how we developed.
Oh, that's crazy. That's a good deal, man. Like I think like that mentality that you have of, giving the athletes a different perspective. And I think that why, if you look at it, I think a lot of athletes are starting to see that there are people out here that are going to give them the true perspective and not try to like run them over or try to make them look bad or try to get that pop or the, Skip Baylesses of the world who are always trashing LeBron just because you need to make yourself look good. I mean, and that's not what our style of journalism is about. We want to see the positive side. Raphael said it on an earlier episode. He said that's the same reason why he got into it. He hated how, he hated how that, athletes were getting covered. I had Vashti Hurt from the Carolina Blitz on here. She said the exact same thing. And that's the notion that I get from us in the industry. We're tired of seeing our athletes getting pummeled when they're good. They're not all bad. They're good people, but they get a bad look all the time.
Right.
And so I think that's a good feeling to know that, there's a nice group of us out there trying to make a change in that and
do it the right way.
And do it the right way. Now, of course, you said you met Emmanuel when you were in college, and that was down in Morris Brown, if I'm not mistaken. And so how important was that HBCU experience for you, getting into where you are now and just, and has developed you as a person?
Listen, it was everything. As a HBCU athlete, the one thing you're going to learn as a HBCU student, period, the one word that you're going to learn is patience.
Right.
Through registration, through your scholarship information, through hey, we don't have the uniforms or the budget that these other have. So it taught you so much about, listen, you're gonna get there. You might not get there at the pace you want to get there, but if you just stay grounded,
right,
keep working, you're gonna get to where you're going. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I took from the HBCU experience, because I had guys, classmates who played major college football. Some never touched the field.
Right.
Some 2 or 3 times. And they don't have the stories so if we're all around, our HBCU stories are much better than their WI stories. Now they got how they were fed, gear, but hey man, you ain't got no good stories. Like, y'all couldn't come to Freaknik. I mean, come on, dude.
Hey, you got to be able to come to Freaknik. You can't go to Freaknik. See what it is. I mean, I know that had to be tough. I mean, I got in the Virginia Union. I think one of the biggest regrets that I had is not being able to take that opportunity and go to the HBCU, because I got in the Union, Virginia Union, and I had the opportunity, got the scholarship, and I ended up going to VCU for a while up here in Richmond, and I really, really wish that I had taken that leap, and I got a good friend of mine who I had on the last episode, Darrell, who had a phenomenal experience with HBCU, and it's never too late. They say it's never too late, but I mean, it's just something that I may have to make that leap. I may have to make that leap.
The crazy, like I say, the thing about the HBCU experience, and I tell everybody this, you forge these bonds that are like so crazy, because we all go through, like, we were all in that same struggle. So the 65 to 80 guys that were like my college teammates,
right,
for the most part, we all keep in touch. And now with social media, the guys in Miami, I'm still cool with. The guys out in Cali, saw one of my teammates today. He just had surgery. He's out in Colorado. And listen, we all went through the struggle, and for the most part, all of us are thriving because of that patience piece. Right. Everything wasn't handed to us. We had to earn every bit of it. So for me, getting into this industry, and listen, we knew it was going to be a climb, because we didn't have the contacts, or we didn't major in communication. So we're doing this a little different from everybody else. But hey, we're going to work it out. We're going to find a way.
That's awesome, bro. You're right. I mean, you can persevere. And I got full faith that, you can tell that the strong bonds and everything that people get from HBCUs just take you to a different level. It just feels like it's like I would say it's almost like one big fraternity almost, compared to you go to different colleges, you got to go. And then I know they have separate fraternities at these schools, every school, but that's different when you hear like, oh yeah, I went to Hampton, or I went, I went here, I went to North Carolina T&T, and you can it's a different vibe.
It's bad.
Right. It's a badge of honor. So I mean, that's a pretty good deal. All right, Maceo, now it's time for my favorite segment of the show. It is time for Quick Word. Maceo Heard edition. Are you ready, sir?
Sir, let's go.
All right. So we're going to start this off. I actually got quite a few for you. Now, you might have the most I've ever done I just had a feeling I had to give you a couple, so I'm gonna not get you. I don't know. I just had a feeling I had to give you a couple more. I don't know why. You were the guy I had to give. Are you ready?
I'm extra. I'm extra.
All right. First one. Best quality about E. Glaze.
The best quality about E. Glaze, his professionalism and his organization.
Right.
We wouldn't get stuff done without him.
That's amazing. I mean, you can tell that the guy is he's top notch. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I guess you could say there's nothing bad that I can say about my man. I mean, you can see it in everything he does. With his I believe it's a nonprofit, correct? Yeah, it was a nonprofit, and you can just see everything he does from beginning to end. And he's good people. All right, so don't worry, because I'm gonna hit him up with the same question. We're gonna see what he got. All right, next one. Dak Prescott, is he worth the money?
Yes. And he is, because you're not going to go back into the draft and gamble and get a fourth rounder. Jerry Jones, I always remember this. You wanted Connor Cook or Paxton Lynch. How are those guys doing today?
It can always be worse. It can always be worse.
And you wanted Johnny Manziel. Get out of here.
Exactly. Thank goodness he decided to go with Zach Martin instead, because that could have been a disaster. There was a couple years I was worried about Jerry, but when he was building that offensive line, I'm like, okay, Jerry, I see you.
Jerry, I see you.
I see you, Jerry. Getting a little bit better. Next one. The Braves. Do you think with this short season that they can win the World Series?
I'm going to say no, because our pitching continues to be a problem. I just don't see where we made the adjustments on the pitching staff. Love young talent, but I just think the arms are going to keep us from winning this thing in a shortened season, man. It's killing.
It's hurting your feelings. Now, King Felix, I think they signed King Felix in the offseason to a minor league deal. And as a Seattle Mariner fan, I'm still hoping that Felix decides to become maybe a closer or go to the bullpen, because I feel like he's like kind of like Smoltz did. If he can kind of get back in there and get himself a chance to revitalize his career, he still can be a Hall of Famer. He still can do it. But I mean, I guess we will see how the Braves will be able to handle that. Now, the greatest interview, sir, that you've ever had.
Wow. So for me, because we were able to do it in his home, he invited us out and fed Dominique Wilkins, dude. Like the human highlight film, guys from Atlanta who just he was our guy. Without a doubt. The human highlight film. I mean, crazy that dude, you know how sometimes you just scroll through your phone and his number is in my phone. I'd be like, I can just if I want, man. So that to me, that was probably dude, that was that surreal moment for me. I was like, dude, I'm saying Dominique is he respects me and he like my partner. Unbelievable. Dude.
There's nothing like it. And people can make fun of us for that. You know, that's how I feel about, my man Leroy Butler, who I had on the show. He knows having that experience for me, knowing, as being a fan, and I'm not ashamed to say it. We're all fans at one point. That's how we get into it. But I was a fan since I was 7 years old. So for me, I smiled the whole time I was doing the interview. I was like, I didn't know how to, it's amazing for me. It's a great moment for me. Says Darrell, you've achieved a goal in your life, but I gained a friend in the process.
Right.
So
right.
That's beautiful.
It's the respect part of it too, because I don't think what people understand, we don't just get these interviews by chance. You know what I'm saying? These guys that we actually end up interviewing, everybody we interview, they do their research, and they're just not going to go and talk to somebody if they don't feel like this is going to be professional. This is going to push trying to do. So, listen, to land interviews with these guys, being that we're not affiliated with, the majors, as they like to say.
The major ones.
Speak doing, man. Like I say, always proud of the work you do, my guy. Always.
Yeah, exactly. Same here, brother. Same here. All right, last two. First one, worst cereal you ever had?
Dude, regular Cheerios. Come on. Like, why is that still on the shelf, man? You got to get that out of here. It's honey nut or nothing.
They say it's healthy for your heart. They say it's healthy. I'm a Honey Nut Cheerios guy all day, every day. But I mean, I could do Honey Nut Cheerios. Huh?
I picked up the wrong box today. Terrible.
That's great. That's great. All right, last one on quick ones. What does Natasha Cloud mean to you?
Dude, she has to be the coolest athlete on the earth, period, man. And she understands her platform. This is what makes T Cloud so dope. She knows she has a platform, and instead of kind of being one of those people who like, she is dead serious about making sure that she is going to affect change, not only in her neighborhood, around the world, man. And that right there makes Tasha Cloud super dope. Oh, and by the way, she a legit baller. She will do you.
Oh, yeah. I got, like you said before earlier in the show, I've got to see her in action. And then watching the way she handles the floor, like the way she runs the floor, the way she runs that offense. And, I mean, she may not put up big numbers all the time, but you can always count on her to come through in the clutch. And so I'm a little bit sad that she's not playing this season. Truly understand why. Understand why, but hopefully next season when we're back to normal, I can get you some more of those wonderful shots of our girl, man.
My girl.
All right, y'all. That was the Maceo Heard edition of Quick Ones. And Maceo, like I said, I truly appreciate you coming on. And before we get off of here, man, of course, it's time to talk about leaving your legacy. And just before we go, I wanted to know, did you have any special projects going on? And what type of legacy do you want to leave when it's all said and done in the sports journalism world, and just when you time to retire and sit back? What type of legacy you want to leave?
So special projects, I continue to advocate for student athletes.
Right.
My recruiting 101 show is more for the parents, but it's also for the kids. And again, we have to make sure the parents understand, because the kids take the cues from the parents. Right. So as long as we continue to educate the parents, the kids will fall in line. So that's like my passion, because I think every child has the opportunity to go to school somewhere. Let's get it out of our mind that we got to play on TV every Saturday.
Exactly.
Our mind. Free education is free education, so I'm always going to be pushing for that. As far as legacy, man, I just want to be remembered when it's all said and done. I want everybody to say, whenever they had interaction with the Crush, those guys kept it real with me. They provided a platform, and they didn't screw me in no kind of way.
Exactly. Ain't nothing wrong with that, brother.
Be that guy. I don't want to be that.
Yeah, we don't need no more of that, right?
No hot takes over here.
No hot takes. All right, everybody. Look, man, Maceo, bro, I love you, man. I truly mean that. I know we haven't had a chance to physically meet, but you can always tell when there's a good guy in the industry. There's a good guy overall. And like I said, I truly appreciate you coming on, man. And of course, we got E-Glaze coming on the next episode, on episode 17. But like I said, I truly appreciate the Crush, man, coming on and being a part of one-on-ones.
Hey, listen, man, respect what you do, D. Love what you do, man. And again, whenever I need pictures, I'm always inboxing you like, hey, dude.
Hey, I'm here for you. If I got you, I'm here for you.
Man, let me put them pictures in the atmosphere, baby.
All right, everybody. I'm Darrell Owens. That's my man, Maceo Heard. This is episode 16 of 101. And episode 17, we got the other half of the Crush. We got our man, E-Glaze, Emmanuel Glaze. He will be on here with us. I'm Darrell Owens, LegacyMaker Sports Network, and this is 101.